Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Forward Thinking Podcast. It's Crissy and Charlie here from CS2. And today we're talking about CS2, actually, and what it's like to work at CS2, what our core values and mission are, and the type of work that we do. A lot of the times we get questions from listeners or our followers, or even people who are thinking about working for us and like, what is it like? And we think that it requires some description because we think that what we're building and doing at CS2 is maybe a little bit different than how teams operate in-house and also just compared to other agencies. Let's just go right into it. We want to first talk about our mission and our work. So when we all meet as a team, and this is, documented, so all of CS2 sees it, but we like to focus on having our mission public and everyone can go back and look at it. But really, our mission is made up of some, value statements of like what we see for CS2. So the first thing is we want to be the best at what we do. This doesn't mean that we try and be competitive against other agencies. It's really just, looking at ourselves and thinking about how can we do the best work in marketing operations or revenue operations and really provide value to our clients. The second thing is how can we accelerate, or our mission is to accelerate marketing ops skills and development, both inside and outside CS2. So forward thinking is a good example of the outside, where we like to elevate people in MOPS, even our clients that we engage with day to day, but also a strong focus on accelerating those skills of the development of our team, which is why we think CS2 is a great incubator for people to come on if they're really looking to advance the marketing ops skills.
Totally. And I think 1 and 2 go very much hand in hand.
Yeah.
Right? So to be the best agency that we can be, provide the most amount of value, we have to always be thinking of our team as our most valuable asset and making sure that we're just accelerating the skill development, both, marketing ops skills, strategy skills, life skills, everything, and we have a lot of programs that focus on that we can talk about, but it's a real core mission of CS2 that's both, really aligned to kind of being the best, but also just providing the best work environment for our team.
Totally. And the next piece to that is really elevating the practice of marketing ops. So as much as we're elevating our own team skills, we really want to always be looking forward, thinking forward about like, what's next at marketing ops? How can we be more strategic? How can we provide more value to the business? And so elevating the practice of marketing ops is one of our core values. And it kind of builds into the top 2 as well. And you forward-thinking listeners, this program is part of that. Really, how can we also elevate and publicize how marketing ops can be strategic and how you can be strategic?
Yeah, and marketing ops has changed a lot over the years since we started back in 2010, but still, and even more so rapidly in the last couple of years, but there's still a lot of areas that we can all be focusing on to elevate our practice, our work, what we're doing, the value we can provide to businesses, because we are strong believers that marketing ops can be a true differentiator for companies. And if we're able to elevate out of the chaos, really think about the best work that we can do, work on the most important and most valuable work as a marketing operations professional, it's going to provide a ton of value for our company. It's going to provide a ton of value to us, both personally and professionally. And it's going to be, a much more enjoyable and nice kind of working experience for everyone involved.
Yeah. And then the last 2 have more to do with the team itself. So our mission is to be humbly confident. So that means that we approach our clients and systems we step into with confidence, knowing that we can make a difference, but also not trying to beat on or bash anyone who might have been in those systems before, because there's always a reason why something was set up, and we have a lot of empathy for other marketing ops folks.
Everyone's at a different stage of their journey, right? And we want to meet people where they are. We want to meet our clients where they are. So we have clients across the board, really pushing the boundaries, innovative marketing operations work. And we have clients that are just maybe getting it off the ground. And we can't judge people for where they are. We have to meet them for where they are and try and help them move forward and try and build that roadmap. So, we're not here to criticize anyone. We're just here to try and make everyone be better and pass on the knowledge that we've gathered.
Yeah. And then the last one is pretty self-explanatory, but we want to have fun and be nice while doing it. So, as much as things feel like they're very, high value and, important to the business, we're also not curing cancer here. We're really just trying to provide value. And so for all of us is like, have fun, be nice, share ideas, engage with each other, and whether it's with each other on the team or across our clients.
Yeah, I think if you go to our G2 page, one of the things you'll notice is that a lot of the reviews are people just saying how much they enjoy working with us, not just the value that we create. So that's really part of our culture, trying to create a place where people don't have to just end up cynical and upset with their working life. The work actually is enjoyable and they like coming to work, and then they're able to do the same for our clients. We want our clients to look forward to the calls that we have with them and the work that we do with them.
Totally. All right. So we want to also talk about our work, how we work, the type of work that we work on, and why it's different at CS2. So the first thing is we do focus most on strategic and custom work. So unlike other agencies that are maybe a bit more focused on some of more of like the tactics that need to be done day to day and can be extra support, here at CS2, we try and focus on coming in with a lens of how can marketing ops groups be more strategic. We don't have any cookie cutter frameworks. Instead, we really have discovery frameworks. And then that gives us the creativity to figure out what is going to be the best solution. This also provides more value in our opinion because not every organization is the same. They have different goals. They have different systems. They have different budgets. All of the above really impacts what work we can do for them. So we always try and lead with questioning and figuring out what's going to be the best solution and working with the client of what's actually going to be sustainable as well. What are they going to understand? What do they have the team and resources to support? And so we approach that with all of the work.
Yeah. And honestly, it's probably one of the hardest ways to scale an agency when you're doing this type of work because everything is so customized. And like Crissy said, we do have methodologies around how to gather the right information to then have that very custom design and strategy. But at the same time, it's why our clients can work with us. A lot of them have gone to different places where they have got more of the cookie cutter approach. They realize that may have been suitable for them at maybe some part of their journey, but now it's not. And they need something a bit more suitable to their specific requirements. And that's where we come in. And that's where we need to constantly be leveling up our team, because it's not like we can just give our team, a booklet to say, this is exactly how you build, a life cycle or whatever. And just go through and just click the buttons like this. It's more about, okay, here's how to discover the information you need to be able to figure out exactly how to customize an approach to them. And that's where we let our team have that creativity and the freedom to be able to provide and really build the custom solution for our clients. So it is maybe a different working environment. Some people might have come from different agencies, but it's what we firmly believe is the best marketing operations result.
Yeah. Okay. Another difference, and we're strongly firm on this one, but we don't have project managers or account managers who kind of lead the accounts, and they, who aren't marketing ops folks, they don't understand. So we lead with trying to pair a expert in that particular area. So typically a marketing ops consultant with the client, and then we have other experts across the team in those specialized areas that they can also work with to support the client. The key thing here is we want to be an extension of the team, and we really want to be a valuable resource that they can tap into when they need to and on demand, and even act as a kind of partner to the client, because our clients are smart. They have really good ideas. They have ideas of what they want to do, where they want to go. And sometimes they just need to, an expert to roll that off of. Other times they need a bit more of a helping hand with actually helping develop their roadmap and define what's going to be on that roadmap. So we help across the board. And I think a bit different too is because we are a partner, we do work on long-term engagement. So a lot of our clients have been clients for years, some even since we started CS2 almost 7 years ago. So I think that's a real difference.
Yeah, and it's actually why we started CS2, right?
Yeah.
We had been in-house, worked with some agencies. We were given a project manager who wasn't really a marketing operations person, and that was the person that was doing that discovery, like we said before, and they're trying to understand what needs to be done, and then relaying that to some team behind the scenes that you're not able to really communicate with as the client.
Yeah.
And we felt like that system was broken. The person wasn't really able to ask the right questions. They weren't able to translate that into what needed to be built. So what was built didn't really fit the requirements. And then there was a lot of cycles, wasted time and budget and energy. So that's why we take this different approach where the account manager and the project manager is a marketing operations person. That person is on the front line, managing the client day in, day out. They really have, several up to 10 more years experience in marketing operations. They really know what they're talking about. They're doing a lot of the work. But at the same time, they do have some specialists that they can really tap into when needed and some people for support. But everyone that touches the client is an expert. Mm-hmm. And that's a key differentiator for our agency.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, on the other side, so when it comes to our clients, one thing that we really value is that actually our clients really value MOPS. So we're a bit selective in who we choose to work with, and we really try to work with companies who are invested in marketing operations. They know its true value, and they want to take it forward and be more forward thinking with their MOPS. So we offer a valued service that also comes with a cost because we are experts. But because of this, we really feel like we can partner with these companies to really, be more strategic and work on that custom strategic work that we talked about.
Yeah. And it's for someone who maybe is in-house or even on the agency side, there's maybe been pigeonholed into a position where you're working on just like kind of the same thing every day, nothing really strategic, and you're getting frustrated. An agency like ours, or specifically CS2, is a great place to go because there's a price barrier to get in, which means that the work that is sent to us is the most strategic work, because you don't want to be paying an agency like CS2 a good amount of money every month to do stuff that you could be doing in-house anyway. Mm-hmm. So we have this, it kind of weeds out some of the work that maybe we don't believe CS2 is the best agency to do, because we want to be focusing on the most strategic, the most challenging, the most kind of impactful work. And it means then our team is really challenged and, in a good way, and has the most interesting work for them to work on.
Yeah. Okay. The last few things. So I think the last thing to say on that is we really are elevating marketing ops. We try to adopt a product MOPS method, which is really, having a approach to our work where it's like continuous improvement, and always working on features that really could be tied to outcomes that the business is tracking and our goals and objectives for the business, so that we can really show the value of marketing ops. Another thing I think just to note is, a lot of people in MOPS were like type A personalities. We tend to always be trying to do our best and do what's sent to us and really people please, where that can lead us to being in this cycle of overworking or always working on fire drills, like whoever's the loudest. And so we try to take the approach to really always prioritize, and we have that protection as well, where we maybe don't get sucked into some of that, and we can really, create boundaries. So I think for those of you who maybe are looking for maybe a change when it comes to that, an agency, especially like CS2, might be a good one. Cool. All right. So last thing, we want to go into our culture and our values. Like our mission, we are very public with our values. It's in our intranet internally. We all review it when we get together as a team. And we think that it really impacts like our culture. And so we'll talk about our culture and our values. So the first value is always being uplifting. So I think MOPS can sometimes feel a bit hard, but even when you're working on hard things, it doesn't mean that you need to get frustrated or cynical. And so we try to, like I said, support ourselves with clients and people that are really going to be helping each other and uplifting each other. And that's one great thing too, is that even when things maybe feel a bit hard, you always have someone you can lean on and not feel alone. And you have people around you that understand what you're working on, which I think is really valuable. Sometimes you don't have that when you work in-house.
Yeah, I remember back really early on in my career, literally in kind of my first job, you'd come across people who were a lot older, maybe our age now, or a bit older, and you could just tell they were just worn out. It was just, they were just over it. And they were kind of short in their emails, kind of a bit abrasive to deal with. And you just knew that they've just been corrupted by the system almost. And I remember thinking at that moment, I'm going to work so hard not to become like that. I want to make sure that my interactions are positive. I'm a pleasurable person to be around, and the culture that I can create around me. I wasn't even thinking about starting a company then, but even just internally would be a place that people are happy, not cynical, and just don't end up getting frustrated. It doesn't mean work has to be, unicorns and rainbows every single day, but at the same time, we strongly believe you don't have to end up in that kind of negative headspace. So we work very hard to try and make sure that doesn't happen.
Totally. Yeah. So the next thing is always be forward thinking. The name of our podcast, but it's really something that we've said on this podcast already, but we try and always think about what's the next level of, for MOPS, but also for our own growth. So we try and take a mindset where we're like continuously learning, continuously growing, and making incremental improvements, and having kind of like a vision of what that would look like and where that would be. And everyone's different, but kind of having that same goal is always continually improving based on where they are now. And we have a lot of programs at CS2 that kind of help support that level of forward thinking. So we obviously have this podcast, and we bring on people of the team to the podcast, and we learn. We have weekly Fridays caffeine and brains talks, where we bring in external speakers or internal speakers. We'll talk about some best practices, and we all kind of chat about it as a group. We have caffeine and brain fundamentals, which are maybe more focused for some of our junior members of our team, where senior leaders kind of talk about a certain topic in specific and go in depth into that. We always have a monthly team event where we engage with each other, where then we also acknowledge people on the team. So we have a forward thinker of the month, which is just someone who's just, kicking butt, and we want to acknowledge that. And the rest kind of supports also our team. So we have team certifications, we have a health and wellness stipend, and that's mental, physical, spiritual health that the team can use. We have like referral programs for tech, so that our clients can benefit, our consultants can benefit when we're driving business for other groups. And we have our own kind of rewarding system where we give out tacos via Slack, and then that can be used for rewards. And then we also try to meet as a team. So as much as we're remote first, when it's safe to do so, and when we can, we try to all meet as a team with an offsite to really engage with each other. Yeah. So I think that rolls into all of how we are more forward thinking and how we support our team to be more forward thinking. Okay. Third value is always be collaborative. This is, we see great work done as a team. And so for those of you who maybe are a MOPS person of one, this might be something that you're feeling, but don't even know that you're feeling it, where we feel like best work is done when you have people to collaborate with, when you can have some QA your work, someone to roll ideas off of. And so when you're working in a team of other experts, it's really easy to do. But also we support collaborating with our clients, because we know that they have valued opinions, and we can work together with them to find the best solutions. So our team is always really good at collaborating with each other, helping each other, and knowing when we all meet our goals, we're all growing.
And it's part of the forward thinking one too, in a way where the culture of kind of accelerated learning that we're trying to develop at CS2, part of that is baked into the collaboration. So we're constantly reminding the team that everyone should always be working on more of the upper tier type of work for them. And that, by upper tier, I mean kind of the most challenging within reason, right? Projects, work for our clients that's really pushing them, helping them learn, developing them. And then in the lower tier type work that maybe they've done for several years, and that is to be delegated. So everyone is constantly shifting up, because the work you delegate down, that could be upper tier work for someone lower down in the, or more earlier on in their marketing operations career. And therefore that's helping them shift up. So everyone is always focusing on the upper tier, handing off the lower tier, and that just allows everyone on the team to constantly be growing. No one just stagnate in one place. Like, we're always about that upper mobility.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. So the fourth value is always be accountable. So this goes along with, working as a team or supporting your team members, but it's really important because clients look to us to be experts, but also the team looks to us for support. So it's knowing that for everyone that we're making sure that we are, communicative if we feel like there's a roadblock. Or if we're going to be a roadblock for someone else, that we're very transparent about that, because everyone's accountable. It's not just all about individual goals. We're really, as a group, we have goals to provide value for the client. So even if we have different members of the team working on something, we're all working together. And a classic kind of simple example is like at the end of the week, we try and make sure that all of us can sign off early. And a lot of that is, people on the team saying, hey, how can I help? And does anyone need any help to get their work done? And so knowing that we're all here to support each other. But accountable also means like we understand when people are working, when we can work with them, and we try and stay on enough schedules to overlap where we can really be there for each other and for our clients.
Yeah. And part of how the whole company stays accountable too. So once we have set a plan in motion for a person on our team individually, so a way for them to maybe progress their skills, get promotions, get pay rises, that kind of stuff, we're accountable. We have a policy where we never wait to promote someone. It's always, once they've achieved what has been set out, we promote them. It's a great thing about a small company like ours. We don't have huge HR, legal, all of these other teams getting in the way of actually just rewarding people when we think it's deserved. So our policy is to have that instant promotion and pay rise, and that happens all the time. We've never, like, so far, and it's kind of one of our goals, no one's ever had to ask for a pay rise or ask for a promotion, because we've always got there as soon as it's deserved, which has been, before they've, we've kind of seen it in them almost, maybe before they've seen it in themselves. That's something that we're really proud of. Like, we really want to always be progressing people, like we've said, but then we have to be rewarding people when they deserve it. So that's really baked into our culture. It's really baked into Crissy and I's mentality, and we're accountable to that. We need to make sure that everyone feels like they're at the level that they deserve and they're being paid the way they deserve. And that's like very baked into our values and culture.
Definitely. Yeah. Just looking at some of the growth that our internal members have had, you can see, 3 or 4 promotions in 5 years. And that comes down less to like, oh, they hit a time milestone, but really they hit a personal milestone of growth that we're really tracking. Okay. The last thing, always be open, is a value. So this really comes down to transparency from us, but also being open as a team. So knowing that we have an open door policy. If someone needs to talk about something that's really bothering them at the company, we're here. Unresolved issues, we don't want to fester, and we facilitate this where we even survey our team to ask them anonymous surveys. We do our one-on-ones. And we make it so that we tackle uncomfortable conversations so the rest of the team feels comfortable doing this. So as much as like it's hard to do, when we do this, we see growth. And then on the transparency side, we're very outright forthcoming with how people are working and what they're doing. So everyone can see in our same project management tool what other people are working on. We have a Slack channel where everyone can see, things that we're working on together, including Charlie and I. We do weekly survey check-ins with the team to give status updates on that. And then we have our OKRs published, in our project management tool that's open for people to see too. So we know how we can support each other to hit our goals and our own personal goals. And so this kind of culture of transparency and openness even comes from the top. So we try and always get feedback from the members of the team of where are we going? What do you feel about that? What's some of the feedback? And even if it's not always used, it still makes everyone feel like they're working toward this bigger goal than just the work we're doing day to day.
Yeah, I think that's a really important point at the end. Our consultants and everyone on the team, yes, they're doing marketing ops work for our clients, but we also see everyone as a partner in CS2, like trying to figure out how CS2 should grow, trying to figure out how CS2 should optimize the service that we're offering, the work that we're doing, everything. And it's not like we're bombarding the team constantly asking feedback on everything, but a lot of times we are bringing the team in to make big strategic decisions for the company. So if you want to be part of actually growing and building an agency, not just only doing consulting, then CS2 is a great place because you get to juggle those two things and have that say in the trajectory of CS2 as well as just your own work and your consulting.
Yeah. Okay, so that was an overview of, our mission and how we work and also our culture and values. So I hope that was useful for everyone who has always wondered what it's like to work at CS2. So hope you enjoy this episode. If you know someone who's looking for a next step in their career or a change, we're hiring. So definitely share this podcast with them and share CS2. And thanks for listening on today's episode of Forward Thinking. See you next time.